Howdy, y'all. Today I am working on my 1962 Chevy C10 Delivery van. I want an armrest and cup holders and USB ports, and how about a fridge too? And I need a sort of secret compartment to hide things a little bit. Keep it out of view. Oh, and it needs to match my truck. Nothing fancy schmancy here. This is how I built my center console for my 62 delivery van using 100-year-old reclaimed wood and inserting a mini fridge and USB port. Here's the console I started on 2 years ago. I got stalled on how I wanted the lid to go and the height for the armrest. I am hoping to complete this project with stuff I already have. I want the height of the armrest to be right for me. I determined the finish height I wanted, subtracted how much room for the cushion I would need, and the height of the lid board. Then the math shows how much to cut off. 3 sides were easy to cut with a table saw. The curved side above the cup holders I cut with the circular saw. Now, what kind of hinges? We have gate strap hinges that look too big, some too small. Also these lid props to hold it open, but this style will be in the way and I always seem to pinch my hand with these. I decided to use these frameless surface mount cabinet hinges. They'll hold the lid open or help close it tight. I did buy these on Amazon. There are 4 for about $12. I cut the divider piece. I didn't realize the bottom wasn't secured yet, so a little glue and a few staples were good, or at least okay, enough. So I mounted the rear divider, and after a little trial and error, got it to sit right, then some glue and brads, and off to the next step. The lid is going to overhang enough to be able to get a finger hold. And since the box is not square, I just placed the lid in position, marked a line on the edge of the box, then added about a ½ inch to that. I marked the hinges to be symmetrical, installed the hinges to the lid before installing to the console. The hinges are a little trial and error for me, but got them in and working. Need to make sure the lid will open without bottoming out on the rear lid. I then need to make the rear lid. I found some leftover wood from the console build. I made it a little wider than the box to grip the edges without installing a handle. When cutting reclaimed wood, always, and I mean always, check the material very closely for brads or nails. This is a test fit, and I found the material I cut for the lid is thicker than the test piece. So I can either raise hinges to clear, which would make a gap between the lid and the box. Since I have a joiner, I will plane down one side of the too tall lid. This lid installs pretty much like the front, except I used a right angle driver to install screws to the box. Looks like more trial and error and trial and error. There you go. After all that, I now remove the main lid to install the cushion. I rounded the edges of the board to decrease the risk of corner poking through the material. My cushion is an old mattress topper, cut to match the board. Then I cut it in half height-wise, beveled the top edges, Used an old t-shirt to hold it in place. Then the drop cloth material that the seat covers were made from to cover that. And basically just stapled the heck out of it. Then reinstalled the lid to the hinges. The console structure is done. Now it's time for the electrical. So I decided to have the wiring in my sort of secret compartment. I installed the fridge adapter into the power supply so I would know how far down to install the board holding these things. I marked where the board needed to be, glued, and shot brads into the board. I'm drilling the holes, I think 1 1/8 inch, and the board gave way. Don't know why, but since the board is out, might as well drill using the drill press. Holes are drilled, more glue, more brads, but the brads don't seem to be holding. This is the point I realize what is happening. I picked up the staple gun, shooting 5/8 staples, which don't do much through going through 5/8 to 3/4 inch boards. The 1 3/4 brads work much better. Now for the wiring plan. I will run a fused heavier wire from console to the fuse box. One fuse box is constant power, the other is powered when key is on. I am connecting to the switched power so I don't accidentally leave the fridge running constantly with the truck off and drain the battery. I run a ground wire to the shifter box. The USB and power socket already have fused lines, so I'll use them also. Next, I soldered the wires, put on the heat shrink tubing, installed the fuse for this circuit, and wow, it's working. Now I have an armrest. I have cup holders. I can charge my phone. I can keep drinks cold. And I have a sort of secret compartment. I'm pleased how it works and how it looks. Thanks for watching.